Welcome to the Bailey how-to videos, and in this video we're going to be talking about payload, loading and the nose weight. Loading a caravan for the first time can seem daunting, but it's incredibly easy and only boils down to two things: how much weight you can carry and where you put it. Now, talking of the weight that you can carry, this again is an easy thing to work out. Now, we have two figures on this caravan. We have a plate on the side. So the higher figure here is the MTPLM. That's the caravan's maximum weight, and sometimes it's referred to as the MAM. Now, on this caravan, it's 1,500 kilos. Now, the lower figure here is the MRO. That's a mass in running order. That's 1,244 kilos. And working out your payload is as easy as subtracting 1,244 from 1,500, meaning this caravan has a payload of 256 kilos. And if you haven't got a sticker on the side of your caravan, both of these figures can be found in your handbook. Now, if you're wondering what's included in that MRO figure, that will include a gas bottle and your mains cable, which is 14 kilos. And if you have a caravan with an outer wet central heating system, also the fluid in that heating system is taken into account. Beyond that, accessories like motor movers or aircon units will have to come from your payload figure. So for example, a motor mover could be 30 kilos, a leisure battery could be 20 kilos, and an aircon unit 27. All of those will have to come out of your payload figure. So now we've covered how much weight your caravan can actually carry, let's go inside and show you how you can safely load it for your holiday. Packing your caravan essentials in the correct place makes it a safer and more stable tow. Now, personally, I tend to load things in the boot of the car first, but don't forget that your car will also have a payload figure, which you can find in the handbook. Now, the heavy items, such as an awning, I tend to put in the middle over the axle. And also, if you've got heavy pots and pans, that's also a good place for those as well. Now, medium weight items you can put under bed bases or the cupboards that are centrally located, but don't put them too far towards the front or the rear. Now, the lighter items you can put in the overhead storage lockers, but don't go too mad. Just be mindful of how much weight you're putting up there. Importantly, avoid putting heavy items at the opposite ends of the caravan, such as the front or towards the rear. Now, if you have an end island bed, it can seem tempting to put heavy chairs and things under there, but all that weight can act like a pendulum. Securing heavy items on the floor can seem like mission impossible, but with a Malenko cargo bar, it makes it easy to keep things like aqua rolls and awnings in place for your travels. Now that we've loaded your caravan, it's incredibly important to check the nose weight. Now, all the nose weight is the downward force of the hitch head on your tow bar. It's as simple as that. There are a few figures you need to check. Your car will have a maximum nose weight figure, which you can find in the handbook. Your tow bar will also have a maximum nose weight figure, which you can find in your tow bar's documentation, or there may be a sticker on the tow bar itself. And lastly, on the side of the hitch head, there's an S number. For example, this one is 150 kilos. Now, your nose weight cannot exceed the lowest of all of those figures. Now, for example, my own Vito has a maximum nose weight figure of 150 kilos, which is the same as this. Now, when we work out the caravan's nose weight, it must be below that 150 kilo figure. Now, to work out the caravan's ideal nose weight, all we do is we take the caravan's maximum loaded figure, which is the MTPLM figure, which on this caravan is 1,500 kilos, and the nose weight should be between 5 and 7%. Now, for round figures, the 7% figure for this is 105 kilos, which falls within the 150 kilo maximum for both my car and the caravan. So we know my Vito has a maximum nose weight figure of 150 kilos. The caravan hitch head has a maximum figure of 150 kilos, but we know that this mustn't exceed 105 kilos. So now we know what that nose weight figure should be, we can check it with a nose weight gauge. Now, to use a nose weight gauge, all you do is you pop this end into the hitch head, and then you just keep winding it down until this hitch head depresses the gauge, and then you can just read it off the side here. Now, if you haven't got a dedicated nose weight gauge, all you can do is get your bathroom scales, place them here, cut some wood to length, and then wind it down on your bathroom scales. Now, ideally this should be that 105 kilo figure. Now, if it's not, the heavier items that you've loaded in your caravan over the axle, you can move them forward slightly to make it heavier or further back to make it lighter. But the important thing to remember is try not to move them more than 2 feet in either way to avoid that pendulum effect if you've got too much weight at either end. Now, if it's still not correct, rearranging the bits and pieces inside your caravan is time well spent and will make for a much more enjoyable tow.